Hello and welcome to TLED 530. My name's Dr. Crompton and I'm the lead instructor for this class. In this webinar today we'll cover Blackboard, which you can see on the screen at the moment, and a little bit about the class and the organisation of the class. So please pay careful attention because we're going to be telling you some crucial things that you need to know as you work through this class. So this is very similar to what you will see when you open up your Blackboard. Now, some very minor differences, as you can see on the left, course management, you won't have this section, I don't believe, but everything else you will. So the main navigation bar here on the left, announcements, class information, modules, research paper, discussion board and tools, these are very important. So the first one, announcements. This is where your instructor will post everything that's important for you to know about. Quite often this is sent also as an email, but please pay attention to this one, this page, just in case, to make sure you keep up to date. The next one on the left here is class information. This is where the syllabus and the schedule are. These are two, probably the most important papers, documents in the whole course, so please pay attention to these. The syllabus here, if I click on it, will open up a PDF in Blackboard, and this will tell you everything you need to know about your instructor, how to contact them, how everything's graded, assignments due and so on. Please make sure you read this carefully. And I'm going to go back to course information. Now if you want to print off that syllabus or look at things a different way, a good way to do it is, when I open that syllabus it went into a PDF in Blackboard. If you know it's going to go to a PDF or a Word document or something like that, a good way to do it is right click on the link and open a new tab. If I click at the top there, it's opened up in normal PDF viewer, and I have all my options here, how to save it and so on. So please use that feature. Also it helps because when I close out of this, I'm still on the same place in Blackboard, so you don't get lost. The next one is schedule. And what you can see here at the moment may be different for your class, so please pay attention to your own schedule. But this basically shows you what assignments are due, in what module, how many points you can get, and when you're to start it, and when it's due. And there's a little bit more information there at the top about where to find it and penalties, so do pay attention. And again, I'm going to say this, the dates that you see here may be different for your course depending on what semester you're in, so please look at those carefully. So I'm going to go back to class information. Next one down is the breakdown of the class participation grade. There are points for this, which include things like quick write, which I'll come to, but pay attention to this because it'll show you what you're doing and what points you can get for that. So sometimes it's not always on, so please pay attention and you'll know where you're getting your points from or you're losing your points. Okay, so next one, this is the main one you're going to go to each time you come into Blackboard, is modules. Now modules are organised pretty much week by week. So module 1, 2, going up to module 13 we have at the moment. Now you'll start these and go in order. You don't just jump around wherever, so in week 1 you'll go to module 1. And you'll click on that and it's organised, very similar, I'm going to click back to modules, as every other module. I'm going to click back to modules again, go to module 6. Can you see how they're all the same? And what they are is, I'll quickly run through that. You have the objectives first of all, the overarching objectives. The NET standard for teachers, these are the ISTE standards and you'll learn about them in this class. Then you've got the technology skills for instructional personnel, the TSIPs, which are required for teachers in Virginia. So these are all the objectives and what standards that they're hitting for Module 6. So going down, you've got readings, assignments and evaluation. You always do these in order. So you've got readings first of all. And when it's called readings, it's actually videos and all sorts of other things. But basically it's what you typically do as your readings at home. So go through these in order as well, because sometimes they build off and you have to read or watch one thing before you go to the next. So do these in order. As you can see all the way down there. And what's nice about this class is the fact that you are not required to pay for a book. Instead, there's so much information available on the web. So all these things are here for you to have a look at. And there's also examples, just like there. And so that's nice, although if websites go down, just let your instructor know and we'll update those, because obviously things change minute to minute. But again, what's nice about this is we can update this very, very quickly. And if something comes dated, if the textbook becomes dated, that's a lot of money to replace. For these, it's just web links, so we can easily replace with something that's better. So these are your readings. Now, I could click back on some modules over here to the left, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up and I'm going to go to what I call the breadcrumb trail. You know, like Hansel and Gretel, leaving breadcrumbs of where they've been. And at the moment I'm on Module 6 readings. If I go to the left there, that was my last page I was on. So it's a bit like using your back button, but it's just helpful. So I'm going to click on that and it'll take me back to Module 6, creating. Now here, next I can go on to my assignments. So click on my assignments. And when you look at this, sometimes there may be many things here, don't worry. They're probably not always all assignments. The first one is a very short assignment and the second one is a main assignment for this week. So let me tell you a little bit about the quick write. The quick write is something you do quickly. So in other words, we're not really bothered about spelling as much and grammar. What we're bothered about is you getting the information from what you've read, synthesizing that information and being able to put it down on paper. Quite often we read things and we don't understand what we're reading, and we'll just read through them and then, okay, go on to the next assignment. This is to make sure that you're really thinking about what you've read. So this just gives you 10 minutes to do that. That's all you need. You're not timed unless you're in a face-to-face class. When we do this at the beginning of class, we give you about 10 minutes to do that. And the point is, you don't spend hours and hours doing this, whatever you do. This is just something very quickly to synthesize. And you can use your notes and your readings all the way through this. Okay, so your next assignment is the main one for Module 6. And at the top there, it gives you an overview of what the assignment is and what you'll produce at the end. And here we've got step-by-step instructions for you to follow. So we've tried to make it as simple and easy for you to follow as possible. At the bottom there, it'll always say, remember to check the rubric throughout this assignment. I'll show you where the rubric is, and this is very, very important because this will tell you exactly how you're graded. So this is the assignment. Now, to actually submit this assignment, you click on the title of the assignment. So hopefully you can see my mouse there, and I'm going to click on the title. Now when I do that, it goes to the submission page. It tells you again the assignment information, and the submission you can attach. You can browse your computer and attach a file. You can add comments down here. You can do both, and then submit at the end. So that's very simple how to submit your assignments. I'm going to click cancel, and it'll take us back to the page we were just on. Now at the bottom here, What I've decided to do to be helpful is sometimes people, especially if they're new to graduate school and they've not been in school for a while, you can be very nervous about what the assignment's supposed to look like, you're supposed to produce. So what we've done is, where possible and where appropriate, we've included exemplar assignments from past students. So there's 2 there for you to look at and to give you some idea of what your assignment should look like. Now these are exemplars, but they can have bits of mistakes in that I've not really noticed. But these pretty much got full grade for what they were asked to do. But again, do be careful, don't follow it exactly, because it might have something missing there. APA might be off somewhere, so just be aware of that. But these are good examples. Now, if you do a great assignment in class, we'll check with you first, but maybe yours can appear as an exemplar for other students, which would be nice. So let's see if you can knock these people off and get your assignments in here. Now, we've covered the assignments. I'm going to go back on my breadcrumb trail to creating again. So back into module 6 and evaluation. So this is how you're evaluated on what you've done in your assignments for module 6. So first thing I give you is a checklist, which is very handy for the fact that you can check that you've done everything you're supposed to have done for module 6. So first thing is quick write. Second thing is creating mini lesson plan and exemplar. So if you've done those 2 things, you're good to go for this week. Then on the next one is creating lesson plan and exemplar rubric. This is where you find the rubrics. Now, before you even start your assignment, you should be looking at these. So make sure you click on this. This will tell you exactly how you are graded. Whoever's teaching this class will put this in front of them as the grade, and they will literally read through this, which matches perfectly with your assignment description and instructions. So if you follow those, it'll match your rubric here. And what you need to do is look for exemplary, not proficient, let's go higher. Look for exemplary for the most points we can get. Make sure you include these things. So follow this exactly, because if you suddenly lose some points, this is where you look to find out why you missed those points. For example, lesson components. The plan has all the components listed below. If you've got all those components, you are guaranteed to get 2 points for this part here. If you don't have some, you're going to get less points. Now just scroll down your rubric. You'll notice this section here has more points. So obviously these are a little bit more important than some of these up here. It has a little bit more weight. So do check right to the bottom of the rubric. And again, everything's graded from these, so I cannot stress enough, when you're doing your assignment, look at this before you start your assignment, model it on this, and at the end when you finish your assignment, again check it over, and you can pretty much grade yourself for what it'll be. Okay, so we've got that. I'm going to go back to Module 6 evaluation. That's everything in there. The research paper on the left there is your overarching assignment for this class. Again, read through carefully. You've got your standards, description, APA resources, and perhaps use this if you want as well during your classes. It's also listed on the syllabus where to find APA help. Assignments instructions, there's your submission, and there's your rubric. So everything's kind of tied up there in this page, so you can get to everything nice and easy. But your research paper, if you have any questions on that once you've read all this, just contact your instructor. Discussion board over here. This is where you do your quick writes and things like that, and it'll ask you during the class when you need to go to the discussion board, so that's where you find it. Last one is tools. This is where you'll find your grades, And send email. You can send email to different students in the class. It'll give you the names, so as long as you know the name, you'll be able to send an email. And wikis will be used in this class at some point, but again, when it comes to that time, we'll tell you where to find it here. So these are all the major navigation bar on the left, and I hope you enjoy this class. One major thing I need to tell you before we finish, and I'm going to click back into modules. So this is a class about technology. However, it's also about good teaching. Don't think about taking some technology and just putting it into what you have. Technology doesn't work effectively that way. If you can see through this class, you'll see things like creating, collaborating, diverse learners. These aren't technology terms, these are good teaching. So what we'd like you to do is focus on good teaching. And as we're teaching you about that, we'll say, oh look, there's some really good technology tools that will help you do that. So technology is supposed to be supportive to you and your students. So look at these titles and have a think about it. There's some more videos explaining this later. But think about good teaching and what we can do to support that. Okay, and I hope you enjoyed TLED 530. If you have any questions, please ask your tutor for the class. Thank you.